Hello and welcome to AMARI Studios. My name is Emmanuel and I'll be taking you in math. So today we're going to revise a past paper for grade 9, paper 1, 2023. So now we have section B. Section B of our math paper. It's grade 9 and then this is the 2023 paper 1. So section B is saying given that M is equal to 4, 7 and -2. Given that M is equal to 4, 7 and -2, state the order of the matrix. That's question 11A. State the order of the matrix. Given that M is equals to 4, 7 and -2, state the order of the matrix. So now when you are stating the order of the matrix, we always start with what we call the rows. We say you multiply the rows by what we call the columns there. So the columns, they represent the vertical side of the numbers, and then when you talk about the rows, they represent the horizontal sides of the numbers. So now as you can see, we only have one column. All these numbers are arranged only in one column, and then again these numbers are arranged in 3 rows. The first row is 4. The first row contains 4, the second row contains 7, and the last or the third row, it contains -2. So now, like I said, the order of matrix is determined by the multiplication of the rows and the columns there. So now, as you can see, we have 1, 2, 3. So we have about 1, 2, 3 rows. So we are going to say here, we are going to write 3, then you multiply that by the column, and then we only have one column. So now the order of the matrix there, it is the multiplication of 3 by 1. It's a 3 by 1 matrix. 3 by 1 matrix. That's the end of your answer. You don't evaluate it any further. You just leave it like that. 3 by 1. Those are our rows. That's the order of the matrix. Then question 11B is saying find 2M. Find 2M. Remember, M is the matrix. M is the matrix, and then the 2 here, it is going to represent the number that we call a scalar. A scalar number. So now, where there is M, we're going to replace with the whole matrix. So it will be 2 multiplied by the whole matrix, which is 4, 7, -2, as you can see. So now this 2 is going to multiply, this scalar number is going to multiply the whole numbers that are found in the matrix there. So meaning that we'll start, please follow me closely. 2 multiplied by 4 is going to give us 8. Then 2 multiplied by 7 is going to give us 14. Then 2 multiplied by -2 is going to give us -4. So this is our final answer there. That's our final answer, and that is our value for 2M. We move to the next question. Question 12, section B. Question 12, section B, it is saying 4x. The question is saying solve the equation. 4x minus 8 is equals to 1 plus x. 4x minus 8 is equals to 1 plus 8. So the first thing that you need to consider when solving an equation, you first of all need to identify which of the terms are like terms. Then when you identify them, correct them in order. put them together. So now, as you can see, we have 4, which has a variable x there, and then we have another x on the other side of the equal sign. Then we have 8 without a variable, we have 1 without a variable there. So it means that negative 8 is actually a like term with 1, and then x is also a like term with 4x. So we are going to correct like terms. So this x here is going to come this other side of the equation, of which it will be 4x. So as you can see, x here, it is a positive number. So now when x comes this side, it's going to be a negative variable there. The sign is going to change because it has actually jumped the equal sign. Yeah, it has actually crossed the equal sign. So it's going to be 4x minus x is equals to, now we have a 1 there. Then this negative 8 again is going to cross the equal sign, of which, as you can see, the sign for 8 is a negative. And then when a negative number, or should I say any number, crosses the equal sign, the sign is going to change, which is going to be a positive 8. Then when you say 4x minus x, is going to give us 3x, which is equal to 1 plus 8, which is in this case 9. Divided by 3, x is equals to 3. That is our value of x. 4x minus x is going to give us 3x. And then 1 plus 8 is going to give us 9. And then remember, our aim is to find the value of x. So how are we going to find the value of x? So we are going to divide by 3 on both sides so that we get rid of the 3 there. So we say 3 divided by 3x divided by 3, 9 divided by 3. Then our answer there is going to be 3. That will be our final answer. So we move to the next question. I hope you're taking note of everything that I'm writing. We move to the next question. Question 13, section B. Question 13, section B, which is saying factorize completely. Factorize completely. One of my favorite questions. Factorize completely, which is 3x squared minus 6xy. 3x squared minus 6xy. So now when you are factorizing, you need to consider now the common numbers that the terms have. It can either be a variable or whichever way you might want to take it. So you're going to consider, the first thing that you're going to do is to consider the common numbers or variables that are between those terms that you are given. So as you can see, the question is saying factorize completely. We have 3x squared minus 6xy. So now you're going to ask yourself this question to say, what is common between 3x squared and 6xy? What is common between 3x squared and 6xy? So the thing that is common here, first of all, we have 3. 3 is common. The reason being is because 3 can enter into 3 and 3 can also go into 6. So meaning that our common number there, it is 3. Then what about our variable? As you can see, 3x here, 3 has the variable x, even 6 has a variable x. So meaning that x there is common. You see, x is common. So meaning that this is 3x. So the number that is common between these two terms is 3x. So now you're going to open your brackets. You say 3x squared divided by 3x, it's going to give you x. Then 6xy divided by 3x is going to give us negative 2y. That will be our final answer. You have factorized completely just like that. It's one of my favorite questions because it's a simple one. You get? We move on to the next question. The next question is saying 3 girls. 3 girls. Take note of that number. We are saying 3 girls. We're talking about girls right now. 3 girls. 3 girls shared 2,700 kwacha. 3 girls shared 2,700 kwacha. That's the question. So 3 girls shared 2,700 kwacha in the ratio 1 to 3 to 5. Then the question is, how much was the largest share? How much was the largest share? 3, 1, 2, 3 to 5. This is the ratio of those three girls. Then we have the money that these girls were sharing, which is 2,700 kwacha. The question is saying, how much was the largest share? So now we are going to find the share that each lady got. That's what we're going to do. We're going to find the share of each girl there, the share of each girl. So now, how are we going to do that? Using this ratio is going to help us to determine what the first girl got, the second girl got, and the third girl got. So now, we say the ratio of the first girl, which is 1, over the total number, or should I say the total ratio of the number, which in this case it is 1 plus 3, it is 4, plus 5, it's going to be 9. So it will be 1 over 9 multiplied by the total cost of share, which is 2,700. Now we're going to multiply. 9 in here, it's 1. 9 in 27, it is actually 3 there. So 1 times 3 is going to give us 300 kwacha. So meaning that the first girl got the share of 300 kwacha. Then now we're going to find the share for the second girl, which is going to be 3 over the total ratio, which is 9, multiplied by the total amount of money these girls were sharing, which is 2,700 kwacha. So again, the same thing, 9 in there, it's 1, 9 in there, it is 3. Then 3 times 3, it is going to give us 900 kwacha, meaning that the second girl got 900 kwacha as part of her share. Then lastly but not the least, we have the third girl. The ratio of the third girl is 5 divided by the total ratio, which in this case is 9. And then you multiply this by the total amount that these girls were sharing, which is 2,700. And then the same procedure again. 9 in there, it's 1. 9 in 27, it is 3. 5 times 300 is going to give us 1,500 kwacha. Let's look at the question again. The question is saying, how much was the largest share? So as you can see, between 300 kwacha, 900 kwacha and 1,500 kwacha, which among these amounts was the largest share? So 1,500 kwacha is the biggest amount among these amounts that were shared. So meaning we just say, therefore, the largest share that this girl shared was actually 1,500 kwacha. And then if you have observed something, the girl with the largest ratio, with the bigger ratio, is the one who got the largest amount of the money there, which is 1,500 kwacha. So meaning our largest share there, it was 1,500 kwacha. That's the end of your question. We move to question 15. Question 15, section B. Question 15, section B. So we move to question 15, section B, question 15. The question is reading, a lady invested 2,400 kwacha. 2,400 kwacha. A lady invested 2,400 kwacha at the rate of 3%. Rate, we have 3% for 3 good years. So a lady invested 2,400 kwacha at the rate of 3% per annum for 3 years. The question is saying, can you calculate the simple interest? So for you to calculate the simple interest, the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to use this formula, which is interest is equals to PRT divided by 100 there. The P is representing the principal, and then the R, it is representing the rate, then T is representing the time. So the time that was given upon this interest to be raised, it was actually 3 years, and then the rate, it was 3%, Then now, last but not the least, we have the principal. The principal, it is the money that was invested by the same lady. So the money that was invested there, it was 2,400 kwacha. Then you multiply that by the rate, which is 3. Then you multiply that by our time, which is actually 3 again. Then the whole lot of that is divided by 100. So now we continue. Because we don't have a calculator, we have to reduce the numbers into their lowest term. So 0 and the 0 there, they divide. Then 3 times 3 is going to give us a 9. Then 9 times 24 there. So 9 times 24, which in this case will give us 9 times 4, it is 36. 6 remainder 3. 9 times 2, it is 18 plus 3. That will give us 21. Meaning that when you multiply 2,400 times 3 times 3 divided by 100, it will give you 216 kwacha. So 216 kwacha, it was actually the interest that was added upon this principal that was actually given or invested by this same lady. So without wasting much of our time, let's move on to the second question. The second question is saying the Venn diagram. So you're going to draw a diagram. The Venn diagram below shows set A and set B. So this is our Venn diagram, and that is set A, that is also set B. So on the intersection set, we have D and we have G. Then in set B only, we have B, and we have H. Then set A only, we have C. Then lastly, in the elemental set or the mother set, we have D there. So the question is saying, can you list A intersection B complement? A intersection B complement. So before we could list A intersection B complement, the first thing that we're going to do, we are first going to find A intersection B. A intersection B. So meaning the intersection of A and B there, when we list the set, it is actually D and G. This is the intersection of A and B. But the question said list A intersection B complement. So for you to list A intersection B complement, the complement there, it means that list members that are not found in the intersection of A and B. So now, if we just exclude the intersection of A and B, the numbers that are not, or the members that are not found in A intersection B is, we have B, we have C, we have D, we have H there. So meaning that this is our final answer. B, C, D, and H. That is A intersection B complement. We move on to the next question. Question 17. So this was question 16. Question 17 is saying solve the inequation. Solve the inequation x minus 5 less than negative 1. So the inequation is more like an equation, but the only difference is that where there's supposed to be an equal sign, they have actually put it less than or greater than sign there. So now the way we are going to solve this inequation is just the same way we solve an equation. So now we are going to say the first thing that we're going to do, remember I said that you need to learn on how to collect like terms, because that is the first thing that you're supposed to do. So now we are going to collect like terms, and our like terms, it's negative 5 and negative 1. So negative 5 is going to close this less than sign, of which when negative 5 goes that side, the sign changes, it becomes a positive, meaning that it will be x less than negative 1 plus 5. So as you can see, these two numbers, they have different signs, and then according to mathematics, we always say different signs we subtract, and then same signs we add. So now when we subtract the numbers there, we are going to get the sign of the bigger number, which in this case is 5 as a positive sign. So negative 1 plus 5, it is going to give us positive 4 as our final answer. Positive 4 as our final answer, meaning that the answer there is x is supposed to be less than positive 4. We move on to the next question. The next question is saying a regular polygon has 9 sides. A regular polygon has 9 sides. What is the size of each exterior angle? So for you to find the exterior angle, there's a formula that we use, which is exterior angle is equals to 360 degrees. 360 degrees, it represents the total revolution over that regular polygon, then now divided by the number of sides which is being represented by n there. So now we are trying to find the exterior angle. Then the question said a regular polygon has 9 sides. So where there is n, you're going to replace with 9. So meaning that exterior angle, which is E, exterior angle is equals to 360 degrees divided by our number of sides, which in this case is 9. When you divide those two numbers, you're going to have 40 degrees as your final answer, meaning that the exterior angle of this regular polygon, it was actually 40 degrees as the angle there. So we move on to the next question. So this was question 18. We move on to question 19. Question 19. Question 19 is saying simplify. 2x plus 3y, 2x plus 3y minus 6x minus y there. 2x plus 3y minus 6x minus y. So the first thing that you're going to do, the question said simplify. Simplify meaning put it in its simplest term. So you're going to rearrange this in collection of like terms. So we're going to say 2x, we are going to collect it with negative 6 there. So meaning it will be 2x minus 6x. Then now plus 3y minus y. We have collected the like terms there. Then now we just evaluate. 2x minus 6x is going to give us negative 4x, then plus 3y minus y there is going to give us 2y. So you cannot simplify 4x with 2y there because these guys, they are unlike terms, so meaning that you cannot add them. We move on to the next question. Question 20. So question 20 is saying we have a triangle ACD, and then within this triangle there is another triangle which is ABE, and then it's saying AB is equivalent to 1 centimeter, BC is equivalent to 3 centimeter, then BE is parallel to CD, of which BE is also equal to 2 centimeter there. Then now the question is saying write the ratio BE, write the ratio BE to CD, write the ratio BE to CD. So we are going to separate these two triangles. This is ABE, and then we have another bigger triangle which is ACD. Now these two triangles, they are similar triangles. So for us to find the ratio BE to CD, we are first going to find the length of CD. That's our first step. Find the length of CD. So how are we going to do that? So we are going to compare AB and AC. We are going to put them in a ratio form. So this will be AB compared to AC, which is equivalent to BE compared to CD. Then AB is 1 centimeter to AC. AC is the whole lot of this, meaning that you're going to add the 3 centimeter with the 1 centimeter, which will give you 4 centimeter, is equals to BE there, it is 2 centimeter, then that is to CD. We are finding the length of CD. Centimeter and centimeter, they divide. Then what you're going to do is this side, you're going to rewrite this ratio into a fraction form. So thereby it's going to be like this: 1 over 4 is equals to 2 centimeter over CD. Then now you are going to close multiply. So 1 times CD is CD, which is equal to 4 times 2 is going to give us 8 centimeter, meaning that the length of CD there, it was 8 centimeter. But our question is saying write the ratio. So we're going to say therefore BE to CD is equals to 1. So BE there, it is 2 centimeter to CD is 8 centimeter. Reduce the numbers in their lowest term. We are going to have 1 to 4. That is our final answer, meaning that the ratio BE to CD, it was supposed to be 1 to 4. That is our final answer. And so we move on to question 21. Question 21 is saying a ladder 5 meters long. A ladder 5 meters long is leaning on a wall which is just like that. The wall is representing the height. Ladder 5 meters long. Then now the distance between the foot of the wall to the ladder is actually 3 meters. So now we continue from there. This is AB, then we have AC. Then the angle between AB C there is going to be 90 degrees. So as you can see, this is a right angled triangle. So now the question is saying calculate the height of the wall AB. Calculate the height of the wall AB. So for us to calculate the height of the wall AB, we are going to use the formula of the Pythagoras theorem, which is C squared is equals to A squared plus B squared. C is representing the longest side, which is the hypotenuse. Then A and B, they are representing the adjacent there. So now, where there is a C, we are going to substitute with 5 because they said AC is 5 meters. And then we have said that C is representing the longest side, which is 5 meters there. So where there is C, you replace with 5 meters squared. Where there is A, so you can replace the 3 on any of the variables that you want. You can either replace it on A or you can replace it on B because we said they are both adjacents there. So where there is A, we are going to replace with 3 meters squared, then that is B squared. If we continue, 5 meters squared is going to give us 25 meters squared is equals to 3 meters to the power 2 is going to give us 9 meters squared plus B squared. So B squared is representing the height that we want to find. Then now we are going to correct like terms. So 25 meters squared minus, when 9 meters crosses the equal sign, is going to be a negative number, meaning that it will be something like this. 25 meters squared minus 9 meters squared is equals to B squared. So 25 meters squared minus 9 meters squared is going to give us a 16 meters squared, which is equals to B squared. Our whole main purpose of doing this is to find the height, not the area. So whenever you find a value that has the units or that has square units, just know that in your head, just know it, that it's actually representing the area. But we are trying to find the height, which is representing a length there or a side. So we are going to introduce a square root this side and on the other side. Then the square on B is going to cancel out with the square root. Then B will be left alone just like that. B is equals to, now the square root of 16 meters squared, it is going to be 4 meters squared. So meaning therefore, the height of the wall AB is equals to 4 meters squared. That is your final answer there. So feel free to pause the video and rewind a bit if you didn't get the concept of the Pythagorean theorem there. We move on to the next question. A water company charges 1.20 kwacha. This is question 22. A water company charges 1.20 kwacha per liter. Then it continues to say the fixed charge of the water company there, it is actually 70 kwacha. Then now a family used 550 liters in a particular month. So now a water company is charging 1.20 kwacha per liter of water. Then now the question is saying that a family used 550 liters of water in a particular month. So now the question is saying, the first question 22A is saying, can you actually find the cost of the water used without the fixed charge? The cost of the water used without a fixed charge, so you say cost of the water is equals to cost per price there, then cost per liter in short, yeah, because we're talking about liters. So cost per liter multiplied by the total number of liters that were used in that particular month, which in this case is 550 there. So this will give us 1.20 kwacha multiplied by 550. So now the best thing that you can do, because you don't have a calculator, you can just remove the 0 here that is on the number of liters there, and then you're going to move this point one step forward. So meaning that if you do that, this is going to be 12.0 multiplied by 55. Then from there, if you multiply 55 by 12, so we have 12, 55, which will give us 10, 0 carry 1, then we have a 6, then we have another 0. So meaning that our final answer there, it is 660 kwacha. So it means that in that particular month, the family actually paid 660 kwacha for 550 liters of water. Then now question 22b is saying, this is a continuation, find the total cost of water that was used. The total cost of water now that was used in that month. So remember, there is a fixed charge. So this is the amount or the cost of water without the fixed charge. Then now for us to find the total cost of water, we are going to add this number or this amount of money with the fixed charge there. So meaning that the total cost of water is equal to the total amount that was paid, which is 660, plus the fixed charge of the water company. If you add those two, the answer there is going to give you 730 kwacha. That is your final answer there, and that is how you solve a share, a cost liter. And then so we move on to the next question. Question 23. So question 23 is requiring us to draw a diagram. So the question is saying QRS is a straight line. QRS is a straight line there. Then we have QPR, which is a triangle. Now angle QPR there, it is 70 degrees. Then angle PRS, it is 120 degrees. The question is saying, can you actually find angle PQR, meaning the angle that is over there. So for us to find this angle, we're supposed to find the angle that is at R. Specifically, we are talking about QRP. So as you can see, QRS is a straight line. So meaning that the angles in a straight line, they always add up to 180 degrees. So you're going to say angle PRS plus angle QRP is equal to 180 degrees. So angle PRS, that's 120 degrees plus QRP, which is equals to 180 degrees. Then do the close multiplying there. So 120 is going to close the equal sign, and then this will be QRP is equals to 180 minus 120, of which your answer there is going to give us 60 degrees. So meaning that the angle at the QRP, it was 60 degrees. So now we have the angle at R, we have the angle at P, and we want to find the angle at Q. How are we going to do that? We're going to add 60 plus 70, then subtract from 180. We are going to have the angle which is at Q there. Why? Because the interior angles of a triangle, they always adds up to 180 degrees. So meaning that if we add the angle at Q, the angle at R, and the angle at P, we're going to have 180 degrees. So you say therefore angle PQR is equals to 180 degrees minus 70 degrees plus 60 degrees, of which this is going to give us 180 degrees minus 130 degrees. Then therefore your final answer is going to be 50 degrees. So the angle at Q is actually 50 degrees, and that is your final answer. So we move on to the next question. Question 24. Question 24 of our past paper is saying, given that x is equals to 2 and y is equals to negative 3, find the value of 5xy plus 2x squared. Given that x is equals to 2, y is equals to 3, find the value of 5xy plus 2x squared. So the only thing that we're going to do here is just substitute. That's why it's one of the simplest questions in this paper. Just substitute. So now, what are we going to do? Where there is x, we replace with the value that was given. So you say 5, open brackets, where there's x, replace with the value that was given, which is 2. Then again, open brackets, where there is y, replace with the value that was given, which is negative 3. Then plus 2, open brackets, which is 2 to the power 2. Then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to evaluate, multiply the numbers. 5 times 2, 10, times negative 3 to give us negative 30 there. Then plus 2 to the power 2, it is 4. Then 4 times 2, it is actually 8. Then negative 30 plus 8 is going to give us negative 22. Remember, different signs, subtract and get the sign of the bigger number. So this is our final value there. That is our final value. We move on to question 25. Question 25 is saying, we have question 25, which is saying a mapping P is mapped onto Q. P is mapped onto Q. We have 0. The mapping in P, we have 0, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Then the mapping in Q, we have negative 2, negative 1, 0, and x. Then now, 0 is mapped onto 2, 1 is mapped onto negative 1, then 2 is mapped onto 0, then 3 is mapped onto x. The question is saying find the value of x. So Q is the output, then P is the input. So before we can find the value of x, we need to find the equation that was used to find these outputs there. So now, every equation always has a y. A y always represents the output, then x represents the input. Then so since this is y is equals to x, then as you can see, the first question is saying 0 is mapped into negative 2. So there is a possibility that the variable that was there, it was supposed to be y is equals to x minus 2 there. Y is equals to x minus 2. That is the equation that we are going to use. Now, we just have to prove that whether this equation is correct or wrong, because we can't just go direct, you know. So using these inputs that were given, we're going to find the outputs that were already given. So you say they're saying that 1 is mapped onto negative 1. So if we say that where there's x, let's replace with positive 1. Then this will give us minus 2, and then at the end of each, you're going to have negative 1. So as you can see, this was the former equation that was used to find the output of what? Of Q. Then now, if using this equation, we are going to find the value of x. So now, y is equals to x minus 2. Where there is y, you're going to replace with x. Remember, we said that y represents the output. So where there is y, replace with x. Then where there is x, replace with 3. Remember, x represents the input. So it's going to be x plus is equals to 3 minus 2. Then therefore, your final answer is going to be positive 1. That is your final answer. X is equals to 1. We move on to the next question. This is my favorite part. This is actually my favorite part of the paper. Converting the binary numbers, or should I say the bismos, into binary numbers. The question is saying convert 11.25. This is question 26. Convert 11.25 into base 2. Convert 11.25 into base 2. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to separate these two numbers. So meaning that 11, we'll write it just like that as a whole number. Then this 11 is going to be divided by 2. So the middle column is going to be used to find the numbers, which are when you divide 2 into 11. We're going to put the answers here in the middle column. Then the last column there is going to represent the remainders that are going to be left. Then from there, if we separate 11.25, we are going to have 0.25 as another number there. So now we start. 2 into 11 is going to give us 5. Then it's remainder 1. Then 2 into 5 is going to give us 2. Then remainder 1. Then 2 into 2 is going to give us 1, remainder 0. then 2 into 1 is going to give us 0, remainder 1. So we are going to get the remainders because the remainders will represent our values there. So you're going to start from the bottom going upwards. As you can see, the arrow is starting from down here up to the upper number, which is in this case is 1. So now if we start from here, meaning that our value will be 1, then there is a 0, there's another 1, and then lastly but not the least we have a 1. Don't forget that there is a 0.25 which we separated from 11.25. So now because we are converting this number into base 2, if you have observed here we were dividing, but now we are going to be multiplying this by small number with the base 2 there. So now we're going to say 0.25 multiplied by 2, which will give us 0.50. Now instead of you writing the remainders, because there are no remainders here, so you're going to get the first number, or should I say the number before the point, which in this case is 0. That will act as your remainder. Then now you multiply this again by 2 until you get a whole number. Then at the end of it, 0.50 is going to give us 1.0 there as our whole number. So now the number that is before the point, it is actually 1, so you're going to write 1 on the other side. So now if you have observed here, we were taking the numbers starting from the bottom going upwards, but in this case we're going to start from up going down. So meaning that our point, or should I say the numbers after the point there, is going to be 0, 1, base 2. So meaning this will be your final answer. 11.25 converted into base 2 is going to give us 1011.012. This is actually the language of computers, or yes, computers. And so we move on to the next question. The next question is question 27, which is saying the cube root of 8 plus the square root of 9. So the cube root of 8, meaning a number that you can multiply 3 times by itself, which will give you 8, of which in this case is supposed to be 2. And then plus a number, the square root of 9, a number that you can multiply 2 times by itself, which in this case is going to give us 3. So when you add 2 plus 3, your final answer there is going to be what? 5. Simple, right? Simple. So we move on to the next question, which is question 28. So question 28 is requiring us to draw a diagram again. 28. The bearing, so this is the diagram. We have a nothing here. We have B, village B, and village A. Then the bearing of village A from B, meaning coming from B going to A, it is actually 155 degrees. Then as shown in the diagram, so this is the diagram there. The question is saying find the bearing of village B from village A. So now we are coming from village A going to village B. So for us to find the bearing of village B from village A, the first thing that we are going to do, draw a northern line. Draw a northern line, or should I say an imaginary line that represents the north at the point where A is. So now if we draw an imaginary line there, we're going to use dots. So that is our imaginary line. This imaginary line is representing the northing there. So now we're going to move a distance from the northing that we have drawn until we reach to a line that is connecting B and A there. So instead of you starting from down here, you're going to start from up there, and then you're going to move clockwise. Okay, there you go. So now we are supposed to find the distance that we have moved from this point to that point. This is the bearing of B from A there. But now, as you can see, for us to find this distance, we can actually we need to have the angle which is over here. So how are we going to do that? According to the rules of angles, we always say that in a straight line or in an alternate angles, actually when you add them opposite angles. 155 degrees plus this angle which is over here, they're supposed to add up to 180 degrees there. So meaning that if we say 180 degrees subtract 180 degrees minus 155 degrees, is going to give us the angle which is here, which in this case it's going to be 25 degrees Celsius. Then now our whole main purpose is to find the distance that we have moved, and this is the only piece that is remaining. Remember, a total revolution, it adds up to 360 degrees. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually subtract 25 from 360 degrees, of which if you do that, your final answer is going to be 335 degrees. That will be your final answer. That is the bearing of B from A. Bearing of B from A. There are other methods that you can use. So as you can see, this is a straight line. So the distance from here to there, it is actually 180 degrees. Then now, on this other part of this diagram, if you continue writing dotted line, as you can see, it's going to make a Z, meaning that the angle which is over here and the angle which is over there, they are equal. So if this is 155, then that is also 155. Then if you add 155 plus 180, they are supposed to give you 335 degrees as your final answer. So you can use that way, or you can use the simplest way that I have used again. We move on to the next question. Question 29. Question 29. The question is saying the bar chart. So we need to draw another diagram. We have a bar chart here. Okay. So this is the bar chart that was given. It is representing the rainfall, and so on and so forth. Okay, there we go. So the bar chart below shows the amount of rainfall received from Monday. So meaning this first bar is going to represent Monday, the second Tuesday, the third Wednesday, fourth Thursday, then lastly but not the least, we have Friday there. So now we have values on this other side. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, then the last value that we have is 12, just like that. So now the question is saying, what was the total amount of rainfall received from Monday to Friday? Monday to Friday. So the first thing that you're going to do is to find the total amount of rainfall that was received on Monday, that was received on Tuesday, Wednesday, and even up to Friday there. So now on Monday, the total amount of rainfall that was received, it was 4 millimeters. Then now you're going to add it with the total amount that was received on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, the total amount that was received, it was 6. Then on Wednesday, it was 10. On Thursday, it was 8. Then on Friday, it was 4 again. So the distance from here, that is 6, that is 10, then that is 8. Now if you add these numbers, they're going to give you the total amount of rainfall that was received on during this week, the total amount of rainfall that was received during this week from Monday to Friday. So now 4 plus 6, it is 10. Then 10 plus 10, it is 20. 20 plus 8, it is 28. Then 28 plus 4 is going to give us 32 as our final answer there. 4 plus 6, 10, 20, 28, then plus that is going to give us 32 as our final answer. 32 as our final answer. Sorry. This is supposed to be 32, just like that. Yeah, I got you there. So we move on to the last question, last but not the least. No, it is the last question, so it's supposed to be the least. So yeah, this is our last question. Question 30. Question 30 of our revision for G9 2023 past paper mathematics. So we have a diagram a rectangular cuboid, just like that. Okay, the question is saying the diagram below shows a rectangular block of length 10 centimeters. We have the length of 10 centimeters, breadth 6 centimeters, then lastly but not the least, the height 5 centimeters there. The question is saying, given that the mass of the block is 180, we have the mass. The mass is actually 180 grams. Find its density. So for you to find the density, you're going to use the formula. Density is equals to mass over volume. But now in our question, they did not give us the volume, but they have given us the value of the breadth, the length, and even the height. So meaning that our job, before we find the density there, we're going to actually find the volume of the whole block there. So now what are we going to do? The formula for volume is equals to L, which is length, times the breadth, which is B, multiplied by the height, which is being represented by H. Then now in our question, they said that the length is 10 centimeters and our breadth is 6 centimeters. Then lastly but not the least, our height is 5 centimeters. Then if you multiply those numbers, we're going to have 10 multiplied by 6, it is 60. Then 60 multiplied by 5 is going to give us a 300 centimeter cubic there. So that is our volume, or should I say that is the volume of the rectangular block. So now, since we have the volume and then we have already been given the mass, we can find the density. So where there is mass, replace with 180 grams. Where there is volume, replace with the volume that you have found, which is 300 cubic centimeter there. Then now, since we don't have a calculator, we're just going to reduce this in the lowest, in its lowest term. So the first thing that we're going to do, the 0 divides with the 0. It does not cancel, but divides with the 0. Then now we have 18 and 30. There's a number that can go into 18 and 30 without leaving a remainder. And that is 6. 6 into 18, that is 3. Then 6 into 30, that is 5. So meaning that we are going to have 3 over 5. But that's not the answer that we need. So you are going to divide 5 into 30, it's 0. Then you add the 0 there, you put a point there. Then 5 into 30 is going to give us 6. Therefore, our final answer is going to be 0.6 grams per cubic centimeter. That is our density. And that is the end of the paper 2023. I hope that this past paper or this revision was helpful to you. And then if you want to see more videos of us, you can actually click on that button, subscribe. So see you next time.